There it is. Okay.
Okay. First question is, what was your life like when you were a child? Tell me about your childhood.
About my childhood?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had a wonderful childhood.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wonderful. Okay. Well, do you have any brothers or sisters?
yes,
And,
I had 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
All right. 3. What's their names?
Uh, the oldest sister was Vivian.
Yeah.
I was the next in the family, Georgia.
Uh-huh.
The next in the family was Willard, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
The next in the family was Irma, one of my sisters. The next one in the family was Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one was my baby brother, Carl.
Oh, okay. All right. What were they like? I mean,
Uh,
tell me what some of them were like. I mean, when they were kids. I mean, how?
Well,
I mean, yeah.
there's just 2 of us living, Audrey and myself.
Yeah. Now.
Only one. Just, I'm the next to the oldest, and she's next to the baby.
Yeah.
And we're the only ones in our immediate family that's living. All the
Yeah.
rest of them did.
Well, all right. Describe, can you tell me about what your, like, Christmas and birthdays, little family holidays was like?
Oh, our Christmas was, we had a wonderful time on Christmas.
Yeah.
And, my daddy sent us all kind of Roman camels and all kind of.
Yeah, I had, like, fireworks and stuff.
Yeah. And, he also done that on 4th of July.
Yeah.
I had a wonderful teenage life, too.
Really?
I had a wonderful
What was, like, anything real spectacular ever happened?
No, I don't think so. I was just,
Yeah.
I was raised down in Hillsborough, North Carolina. I was born in Danville, Virginia,
Yeah.
but I was raised in North Carolina.
Yeah. All right, did y'all go on any vacations anywhere? I mean, kind of...
Yeah, when we went on a vacation, we lived in Hillsborough, we'd go to Danville to see my daddy's mother lived over there. All my daddy's people lived in Danville.
Yeah.
They came from Georgia to
Uh-huh.
Danville, the Touchstones.
Oh, okay.
I was a Touchstone before I married.
All
And
right.
anyway, I had a wonderful life.
Yeah, so you ain't complaining.
No,
So
not a bit.
Yeah, you're not saying, oh, I could have done better, there's things I should have
No,
done.
I can't. I don't see it that way.
Really? Well, that's good. Well, what y'all do for fun? What y'all do for fun?
For fun.
Yeah, when y'all were like, I mean, is there any games y'all would play?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, there wasn't too awfully much to do. Every Saturday night, now, a lot of places, things is open all night long.
Uh-huh.
You can buy clothes or anything you want.
Yeah.
In some places all night. Used to, on Saturday night, everything would be closed up at least by 12.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be anything to go to anything.
So.
Now, a lot of people didn't go to bed. They'd gang up together and, be wherever they wanted to. But I didn't do that because my mother, we had to have a regular, mother had home rules and we went by.
Yeah.
All children did, mostly then.
What,
It was a
now?
lot of difference in what it is now, huh?
What, I mean, can you contrast what it was like different?
Well, young teenagers didn't drink. You didn't hear.
Oh, you're kidding. Didn't drink?
No. And you didn't hear any total dope. Honey, the
Probably didn't have
dope
it.
come out since I've been living right here.
Yeah.
My children, I never heard tell no dope down in Portsmouth, Virginia during the war.
Oh.
Lived down there.
Oh, come on, y'all couldn't have been all angels.
No, there was no wings sprouting. And I used to thank my mother. I think, oh, my mother is meanest mother, because she had home rules and we better go by them.
Yeah.
But they were good for us. Them rules were good.
Mm-hmm.
Most all the children were the same way, too. Most parents were like mine, Everybody was about the same. And I'll tell you, I remember when we didn't have a screen door or a screen window in our windows.
What, you just had, you had a window there.
Had the windows and the door. In hot weather, we left all the doors, now this is the truth, all the doors and windows open.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a screen on.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can come in and bother you.
So you didn't have to worry about.
Nowadays you sit in the house and I might shoot you through your window. It's been done.
Yeah.
And it's just so many changes, honey. I couldn't begin to tell you all of them. I don't ring. I forgot all of them.
Yeah. Well.
But I'll tell you what, the children always did skate
Yeah.
on roller skates. And
Did
boys
you ever do much of that? Roller skating?
I never did skate. I
Oh,
was
really?
too scared. I never did ride a bicycle. I never was a sport much.
Yeah.
And the boys used to have a big old round iron hook and a little stick, and they'd roll that hook. And they played marbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played marbles.
Yeah.
They done a lot of that.
So that was like one of the main kind of games that they did?
Yeah, marble, rolling a hook.
I never heard of rolling the hook.
Well, they did, and they could keep that thing rolling.
Yeah.
They stopped that years ago, though. I don't know.
Yeah. Now I guess it got replaced by basketball and stuff.
Yeah. See, we didn't have no ball teams in school at that time.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, the first schoolhouse I went to was a two-room wooden schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Two rooms.
Yeah. I guess y'all.
First and second grades, what they taught.
Oh yeah.
And I remember my teacher, and at first she put ABCs up on the blackboard.
Yeah.
Then every morning she had a pointer stick.
Uh-huh.
She point A, B, C. We learned our ABC.
Yeah.
Then she learned us how to spell.
Yeah.
And we used to sound our words, a lot of them, like if we was going to spell cat, we'd say cook at the cat. Sound.
Yeah.
It was a sound. Cat, cook at the
Yeah.
cat, rook at the rat. You know,
Yeah.
it sounds funny now, no, but at that
Well, I
time,
know, that's
what
right.
we done.
Yeah.
We about to sound a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a good speller. Oh, I used to love to spell. We had spelling bees on Friday after I got up in the higher grades, you know. That wasn't in the first and second, but after I got up fourth, fifth, and sixth,
Yeah.
we'd have spelling bees on Friday evening.
Yeah.
And I stood head of the class a long time. One Friday she gave me pigeon. I said Piegeon. I spelled it wrong. I spelled it Piggeon. I put one G in it too much. And I know better. And how come me to do it? I got cut down. Somebody else spelled it and I had to go down.
Go down. What?
Go down the line. They spelled it for me and I had to go
Would
down.
y'all have like a line thing to where
Yeah,
y'all?
and see, I used to stand pigs, you know.
Yeah.
And I did it for a long time till she gave me pigeon. And I know how to spell pigeon. And that's what I done. But honey, I never did forget no more and put that extra G in there either.
Yeah. So school. How far did you make it through school?
They just had 11 years and graduated in 11th when I was going to school.
Yeah.
Well, I was in the 10th, and I passed to the 11th. Next year I would graduate. And I told my mother and daddy if they'd let me go to work during that summer, that I would go back to school next year and get my diploma.
Mm-hmm.
I got to making that money, and I didn't want to give it up, and I didn't go back to school.
Was it work hard? I mean.
I was weeded,
Yeah. I mean.
making cloth.
And how many? Do you work like 5 days a week? Or what?
Yeah, I worked for Saturday, half a day.
So how old were you when you?
I was 14. They allowed you to go to work at 14.
Yeah, and so that would, and you were born in 1902. So that'd be around. You was at work, went to work around 1916.
Yeah, I was 14 years old.
So what company did you work at? Was this in Portsmouth?
I worked in cotton mill down here in Hillsborough.
Is that still there? Yeah.
Well, I ain't been in Hillsborough in a long time.
Really?
But Cone finally bought it. Cone from Greensboro finally bought that, and I don't know what they got in there now. I don't know where it's still there now.
Oh yeah.
But I worked there for years, making cloth,
Uh-huh.
pretty cloth, making dresses and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Made pretty good money.
How long did you work there?
Well, I even worked there after your papa and I were married. We both worked there.
Yeah.
I was working there when Evelyn was born and Edna was born.
Oh, okay. So how many kids you have?
How many children did I have?
Mm-hmm.
9. I got three boys dead.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Charles Mansell was the first one.
Yeah.
Charles, and the middle name Mansell.
Charles man.
And then uh, Colin.
Uh-huh.
Now they were premature 7 months babies, and they lived 2 months and died of spasms. So they were supposed to be born.
Well, it must have been kind of hard on you, having, two of them.
No,
Yeah.
it didn't bother me at all.
Oh, well.
Naturally, I didn't
Right.
particularly want them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't
It
bother.
happens, it
It
happens.
didn't bother. It happened, and
Ain't nothing
and
to do
I'm
about it.
glad now I had them children, 'cause I could have been like her out there with nobody.
Yeah, I know. Now you got, a big
I
family.
got grandchildren and children. They're all good to me, and I love them, and I think they love me. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. Like I said, I told someone here the other week. They said I was gonna be living when all of them was dead and gone, and I said I don't want to live after they're all dead and gone, and I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Be here by myself.
Well, how old were you when you first started working? That's right. You said you were 14, right?
14.
And how long did you? Is that where you met your husband?
Well, see, I've been married twice. First one lived in Danville.
Yeah.
He was a Newman. I lived with him 1 year at our wedding anniversary, and I left him. He slapped me one day.
Oh.
And when he slapped me, I told him I'd leave him for it.
Yeah.
That was before the baby was born. I said, I'm gonna leave you for this, but not now.
Yeah.
So after the baby was born, he didn't live but 2 months and died. And after then, I went back down Dan River Mill and worked, bought me some new clothes. I went back home.
Yeah.
And I never did go back to
So when you was in school though, did you was there any kind of did you have a prom or anything like a
prom.
yeah dances or anything?
Oh yeah, I always had a little prom,
Kinda.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to it or anything?
Well, see, I went to some other people, but mine, like I told you, I done gone to work. And
Well, I know they. I don't know if they might have like if it was 10th grade. I don't know. That might have been junior back then, junior, senior
yeah,
prom. Or something.
they had proms. Of course, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't nothing like it is now.
Yeah.
Everything was different. Small, it wasn't as much.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Things have changed so much, hon. I realize that the younger people like you and the ones younger can't realize the changes it's been since I've been in the world. See, I've been here a century,
Yeah.
and it's been a lot of changes. And the next century, if the world stands another century, it's going to be a lot more. And they won't. I don't think they're going to be for the best.
Yeah.
So far, it hadn't been. Now, with all this new stuff, did you know people are working? I read the other week, women are working harder than they ever did in their home. With all the push button stuff we didn't have.
Yeah. So you saying it's like it was easier when you had I guess like non-electrical
And
appliances.
don't you know, hon, I think it made you stronger.
Really?
I was strong. I never weighed over 98, 99 pounds either. But strong.
Yeah.
Anybody can pull them big beams back on a loom.
Yeah.
Take off big rolls of cloth. Now that cloth's what I got paid for.
Yeah.
Set them at the end of the loom.
Yeah.
And I was strong. I wasn't no size, but boy, I had the strength.
All right. Were you? Now this is gonna probably be kind of hard, but were you punished as a child?
Huh?
Were you punished like for anything you done? Or
Yeah. If I done something my mother told me not to, yeah, she'd go out and break a little switch off of a tree.
I mean,
Kiss around my legs and didn't feel good.
I mean, was there anything in particular you want to state? Like, anything you can remember you done wrong that kind of got you in trouble?
Let me see, Well, I imagine there were quite a few little things all through the day I was doing that made me stop.
Well, who did the punishing? You say your father?
My mother did.
Your mother did? So your father didn't have
My
much-
daddy never laid his hands on none of his girls.
What? I mean, it's just he just didn't think it was he should.
Well, see, my mother didn't work. She was at home all the time. And
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
And so she's the one that done the bossing.
Yeah, so she was one
Yeah.
missing just
That's
discipline, I
right.
guess.
She's the one disciple of because she was with her.
Alright.
And I used to say to myself, my mother is the meanest mama. No, she was a good mama.
Yeah.
If she hadn't loved us, she wouldn't have cared what we done.
Well, was there anybody in the family? Who were you closest with? I mean, did you have a sister?
I
That
was
you were,
closer to my oldest sister,
what's her name?
Vivian.
Yeah. And what happened to what happened?
Have you ever known any Stutses uptown?
I
Stutz?
really don't. I don't know of any, but I mean, I'm sure they're up
She
there.
married a Stutz, and there's a lot of them living uptown.
Yeah.
Bobby Stutz, he was went to Wake Forest, he was on the football team a long time.
Yeah.
And I think he lives in Greensboro now. Since we all grown up and married and got kids and all, we don't see each other that much anymore. We should, but we don't.
Yeah.
And I don't know, everything's changed, even that.
Well, what did the house look like? I mean, you said the windows didn't have any windows and stuff, but
Didn't have no screens.
I mean screens. I mean, yeah, excuse me. But I mean, how big was it? I mean, like in comparison. Well,
It was,
and did y'all how the kids were they like all in one room or?
now, my older sister and myself slept in a room to ourselves, big bed. And then there was another room that the smaller children slept in, and then my daddy and mother. We usually had a 4 or 5 room house, small room, wasn't no big room.
Yeah.
We rented, my mother and daddy were getting us a year before they owned their own home.
Yeah.
Like Marvin and myself, we moved all over. And we finally built a home here. The first home we ever built was right here.
It was yeah.
He built the 4 rooms, and then later on, I had some added to it. You know.
Yeah. Well, did you have any when you were a kid, right? Because this is most of what it's about. Did you have any any pets?
Pets.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of pets you had?
Yeah, dogs and cats.
Yeah. Do you have anyone? I mean, you were particularly fond of or anything? Or?
Yeah, we always loved that, dogs and cats. Lord, there's a lot of
I mean, y'all have multiple. I mean, y'all had a bunch of dogs
There's
all at the same time.
Well, no, we never had over one of each at a time, but we always had one in the home. Mother and them said that children ought to have pets.
Yeah.
Said it made them more kind-hearted, tender-hearted, to have some pets, grow up with pets.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it does, it learns you to be good to things, kind to things.
Yeah. Nice to
And a
have
lot of
pets.
people now don't want no pets in their home.
What do you think about that? Yeah.
Well, I think children should have a
Yeah.
dog, a cat, or something, to love
Yeah.
and take care of.
Yeah. Well, what did y'all do on the weekends? I mean, did y'all
Well,
go out on
we
the
went to
weekends?
Sunday school Sunday morning. My
Yeah.
daddy taking my sister and myself. We went from Chester, South Carolina to Hillsborough, North Carolina. So that's where our mother was raised. She's been there ever since just about.
Yeah.
All of my mother's children were born in North Carolina except 3 of us. The 3 oldest born in Danville. Then we went to Chester, South Carolina. And from there to Hillsborough, and the rest of them were born in Hillsborough, my sisters and brothers.
Okay. Well, let's see. Is there any like characteristics that you remember most about your mother and father? Anything like are they real strong? I mean, gentle?
Yeah.
What?
My daddy, he loved music.
Yeah.
He was Irish.
Did he have any kind of
People came from
talent?
Ireland over here. And he loved music. All Irish people mostly do love music.
Oh yeah.
And he could play a little bit on any musical instrument. Now, he wasn't good on all of it,
Yeah.
but he could play a little bit on a piano, a violin.
Yeah.
He picked his guitar and had a harp rack. He put his harp in the rack,
Yeah.
and he blowed the harp. And
he could play
guitar.
pretty good.
Yeah. Mhm. And he belonged to the band over in Danville. Well, he did in Hillsborough,
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah. He beat the snare drum, the little one, and he beat the big bass drum.
Yeah.
Then he blew the alto horn.
Yeah. Alright. Let's see. Anything about your mother?
And him and my mother, we all used to sing. He picked a guitar and we'd all sing.
It was kind of a family thing.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Alright.
And I used to love to sing.
Alright. Do you remember any like special weddings or family weddings or anything?
Yeah, when my sister got married, my older sister, she wasn't very old, and I was still younger.
Yeah.
I know that she married at home in the living room. It was just full of people, and I was short. I couldn't hardly see her.
Got married in the living room?
In the living room at home.
Oh.
And there's a gang of people there.
Yeah.
And I remember I couldn't see my sister hardly on account of everybody else was much taller than me. And
So
I
how
had,
old were you about then, you know?
well, she wasn't but 15 herself.
Yeah, so you would
And
be
I
in
was,
single digits.
she was over 2 years older than I was.
Oh, so, okay.
And anyway, and she and I were close, very close. I know we went to church one Sunday evening, and coming on back, this little old guy, teenage boy, Louis Davis,
Yeah.
walked home with her from church. And she, me and another little old girl that went with her was walking behind her, and I was coming on walking behind her saying, "Look at sister, all the way." Yeah. But did you know I didn't tell Mama on her when I got in the house? Mama wasn't around for her letting that boy walk home with her.
Yeah.
And he
Well,
didn't do nothing, just walk home with her from church. And I just said, "Look at sister." The first time I've ever seen her walk
oh,
home
that's
with
mean,
a boy.
kinda.
Yeah, look at sister. If it'd been me, I'd have felt like whipping her.
Well,
But she,
I get you never drove, you know, car or anything, did you?
no, never did.
Never been to
Oh, I
Florida?
learned, and then wouldn't drive.
Really?
Yeah, Papa, if your Papa was living, he'd tell you,
So
he
how
wanted me to learn, and I did.
old were you when he first got a car? Well, I guess he was driving already.
Oh,
when
he
when did he
drive.
get a car?
Well, if he was driving, knew how to drive one for me, and him was married next.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, they didn't have any cars back then, did they? I mean, it was.
well, everybody didn't have one, I'll tell you.
What?
And they were different from what they are now.
Yeah.
But your Papa loved to travel. He'd been everywhere.
Really?
He worked up north. He worked in Pennsylvania, Patterson, New Jersey. He'd been to New York, Florida.
Do you know how much a car would cost back then? I mean, how much did they cost to buy them?
A car?
Yeah.
Well, $500 or $600 for a T-model Ford was right much.
Oh yeah. I know now you can't. You know.
Yeah, T-model.
Better get a Yugo, you know.
I really didn't
2000.
see some of them old T-models. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were a whole lot different from what they are now.
Yeah. Or you think they were safer? Or?
No, they didn't have no good roads to begin with.
Yeah.
Running over ditches, rocks, and everything else. So we got the house.
Real bumpy and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And dust would fly a car in front of you, and the roads was dusty, you know, they didn't have that asphalt on. And people wore them coats. I know you've seen a picture of them coats and things on, keep the
Yeah.
dust off of them. Because that car in front of you wasn't doing a thing but blowing dust back on you.
Yeah. Well, what was your how old were you when did you say when you got married?
How was it?
Mhm.
Well, I was 18 the first time, and I was
Okay.
21 the last time when
I mean,
your papa and myself married.
okay. So when what was the wedding like? I mean, was it real nice? Was it in your house? Church? Where? I mean, what was it like?
Oh, well, I married at the preacher's house.
Yeah.
The first time, my first husband, down in Hillsborough. We married up at the preacher's house. The next time I married in my living room, me and your papa. Married in our living room, and just a few guests there. I didn't invite too many people. Just some people there, you know.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Well, okay. You said that, you know you couldn't complain about anything in your
No.
life. Yeah, everything
No, I
turned
never-
out pretty well. You couldn't have.
Yeah,
All right.
I was happy.
I mean, what was like, can you say what your proudest moment in your life was? I mean, when you were, real proud of yourself, I guess?
Well,
Proud, I don't want you to
I
say
don't
that.
know, hon. I was proud a lot of times.
Yeah.
Really.
I know, okay.
Like I said, I had a good life.
All right, let's
Oh,
see.
I accepted it as a good one or something anyway. You know, I don't know.
What was the hardest thing you were ever asked to do?
Hard thing.
Anything, something, like, was there something that it was a task given to you, or something that was the family required you to do that was really hard or anything? And it was like, oh, I can't believe it, I ain't gonna make it or something.
Let me see if I can think on of anything Well, there's a lot of things sometimes I didn't want to do, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
You know, it went on
I mean, was it any like family struggles, like, oh, we gotta work or something, and you know, oh, we're gonna lose the house or anything like that? I mean, you know, any financial problems or?
No, I tell you. Now Papa and I lived through that depression, and I had 2 babies on the bottle. I had to buy the milk.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't hardly have no money to buy nothing. But did you know we never went hungry a day
So you always had food on the table.
of some kind? It might not have been exactly what we wanted, but we ate it and we were healthy.
Yeah.
And one thing, we had good health. Our family, children, and we had good health.
Mm-hmm.
That helped out a lot. Didn't have doctors much, and us.
Yeah. So y'all actually did all right during the
Yeah.
depression.
But I think we got on good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard times where stuff.
But we had to struggle, and we have to sit down and talk things out together and figure out which would be the best way to do such and such a thing,
Mm-hmm.
where we could do it cheaper, manage a little better. And we'd sit down after about.
So it was tough times, but you made it.
Yeah, there's tough times, yeah.
Yeah.
But we, somehow or another, I don't know, Hon, it seemed like people accepted things differently than they do now. And one thing it wasn't as used to as much.
Yeah.
I know when they didn't have automatic washer, didn't have no automatic dryer, didn't have no automatic dishwasher. I got one sitting back yonder that Joanne Evelyn gave me a long time ago. I've never used it.
What do you think about the microwave?
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you think that's something nice, one of the newer
Yeah,
things?
it's real
kinda,
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like it. And I like all
And what
these
did you
things.
used to, back when you were a kid, I mean, I guess it was like just an oven, right? Or was it like a fireplace oven thing?
Well, when I was growing up, Hon, to begin with, it was just wood stoves.
Yeah.
You had your wood just stuck in there,
Yeah.
and they were iron.
Yeah.
Cooked good bread, and good beans and things were cooked on them, cooked slow,
Yeah.
fried good chicken. Everything was good on them. But then the oil stove came out.
Uh-huh.
Go burn an oil stove,
Yeah.
My
I don't
mother
know,
had
yeah.
one. But they were dangerous. If you didn't look out for them, they would run up, that wick would run up. Some houses did get burned up on account of them.
Whoa.
The wick, around wick and them globes was on it, didn't it? Thing you turn it on and off.
Like a old lamp or something.
And people weren't used to them, and there was a few homes got burned up on account of them.
And when was this when they had that? I mean, a year?
Yeah. See, that was the old stove.
That's around the 20s? When was the time for that?
Uh,
What years was that used?
well, let's see, hon. How would I been then when it first come out?
Man, that's alright, never mind.
Let me see.
Well,
They came out maybe, they didn't come out by the time. No, they hadn't come out from. They had maybe come out. My mother just didn't have one when I went to work when I was 14, but they come out later on. About everybody got on the oil stove. And then, long time, electric stoves come out.
okay.
Well, I was living up here in Vernon on my first electric refrigerator. And I didn't know I was going to get that. Your papa went off and got one brought in. General Electric. Well, I was tickled over it. They had a little wooden box, and you buy your hunk of ice and stick it in there. And in a little hole down in the bottom, you put a drip pan under that, because that ice is going to melt,
Yeah.
Run in that little hole, you caught in that pan, and then you empty the pan out.
Yeah.
That's the way people kept things cold.
Alright, if there was anything, is there anything in your life you'd like to do over? I mean, is there anything like an experience, if you had it to do again, you'd have done it a different way? I mean, is there anything like that? I mean, is there like something that would have, if you'd have done something different, it would have turned out for the better, or anything like that?
Well, I just never have thought about that, sure.
Yeah.
I imagine so, though. If I imagine there's some things if I just think about it, maybe.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was always happy anyway, so
Yeah, can't complain.
Me and him got along good together, you know.
And I mean, you never really had that much money though, really. I mean,
No,
so y'all were happy even without
that's right, honey.
a fortune or anything.
We didn't see. I didn't want for so much. I knew I couldn't afford it, and I was happy like I was. So, no trouble.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? You know how things are going these days, and how the world's. What's the
honey.
world coming to?
Oh,
What do you
Lord.
think it'll be like in 20 years from now?
Honey, there ain't no. I wouldn't want to even try to predict.
Hey, baby.
Come on over here and sit
How
down.
you gonna talk to them
Go ahead now.
He's
We're almost done anyway.
Talk to them.
He's asking me about the
Good. Well, talk.
old times, and I'm trying to tell him.
Well, look at him, Mom.
Alright, this is good. This alright, as long as you know. Alright, so what do you think in 20 years from now? I mean, what's your prediction on?
20 years from now, if the world's standing,
Well, do you have a feeling it might
it's not
not
going to
be?
be as good as it is now, huh?
Really? You think things, even though technology improves?
Oh, they may be up on things like that a lot, but it's not going to help too much.
Yeah,
No, it won't do too much good.
yeah. So
So, you know, they have got a lot of new things that should be a lot of help, but it seems like it's not doing very much good.
yeah. I can see. I can see your point. Alright.
It may be it's just not using it right or something.
Is there? I mean, what do you think the problem is now? I mean, is there a big? What's the major problem between
Well,
1930?
one thing,
Is there something? I mean, is there?
one thing, it seems like people can't be happy like they used to. They got more than they had, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's not brought that much happiness.
Yeah, it's kind of like you give them a little, give them an inch and want a foot.
I don't know exactly, but I know it ain't like it used to be out of that. People
Yeah.
were happier. We didn't have it
Well,
much.
I was a happy.
Betty Jean remembers when we
Look at
didn't
the guy.
have so much, but
That's all right.
everybody was happy, seemed to be happy.
But why are they not happy now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what happened? What happened? What's wrong? Why ain't we happy? It's just because we got more stuff. I mean,
Well, honey, that was just a change, and I don't know.
yeah.
Just, that's just the way it happened.
Does the government have anything to do with it?
Yeah, I think our government had something. I guess we all had something to do with it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see. All right,
But I'll tell you one thing,
that
honey.
about sums it up.
Since I've been born, things have really changed. I can tell you that.
All right, well,
And it's not been for the best, not everything.
well,
I don't. They've got things to make things. I read in the paper. We read where the other week where a housewife is working harder than she ever did in her life, and yet she's got all that new stuff, you know,
yeah.
to make it more easier.
All
And
right.
I read that in the newspaper. You did too, didn't you?
All right, this is my, I'm just going to wrap this up. This is my Granny, Georgia Ray. And how old are you?
I'll be 91 in July.
Okay, that's it. Excuse me. All right, stop. This is my Aunt Audrey. Audrey, say hey.
Hello.
Okay. All right, what was your life like as a child? I mean,
Friend.
grand. Just very enjoyable, all right?
Enjoy.
All right, do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have one sister.
And right there. All right.
All dead.
Well, okay. So you had the same as Granny. All right. Well, can you tell me what they were like? I mean, what do you think? How they act?
They were all sweet people. All seemed to be.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing.
They're both family-like. No.
So y'all just done regular old things.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything special you remember about Christmas or the holidays?
Yeah, that was big times for me.
Yeah.
Wait for Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, did y'all go on vacations? I mean, any places y'all remember going?
In fact, during that, when I was growing up, you didn't get no vacation.
We just
You
went,
were.
like I told you, we
My
went
daddy
to
went.
Danville.
Yeah.
They started right after I started work, giving a little vacation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you didn't have like the 4th of July or anything?
Oh yeah, they they give us 4th of July and Easter
Well,
Sunday.
And
she
like
got
Christmas
my
too,
baby.
right?
Yeah.
Look, Mom and Dad
Okay.
always went to Danville to see Grandmother Touchstone.
Yeah.
See, they give us, over there where it worked, to give you the days off, 4th of July,
Alright.
Christmas, and,
Ma,
you know,
That's.
so many days.
Ma.
But we didn't go,
Wait
wait,
a minute.
all right.
Wait 1 minute. Ma, let Audrey answer this one now, honey.
It's alright. You can get in with just let her
Big
talk
old
some.
Jordan.
Alright. Okay, so y'all really didn't have much vacations or anything.
No.
Alright. Well, what'd you do for fun when you were a kid? I mean, was there any
Oh,
games you
well,
played?
kid, yeah, we played hopscotch, played in our doll houses, and that was about the thing of it.
Yeah. I mean, was there anything like at school or anything, kind of little events or things you do there for like a?
No,
Yeah.
no, when school let out, it was out, unless it was playing, practicing ball or something like that.
Alright. What kind of when you was on listening to the radio? I mean, did you listen to the radio much
Mhm.
when you were
didn't
younger?
have none for years and years.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you know any programs that you listen to? I mean, can you name any?
Yeah, George Byrne and Grace Allen,
Yeah.
and
Is there a personal favorite you had or anything?
what was them two colored guys that come on, George? Amos and Andy,
Oh, okay.
and
Well, that was after me and your papa were married.
Yeah. I guess they didn't really come out with the radio till later anyway.
Oh, that's right. The
all
first,
them old shows
first
like
gramophone they had, you had to have horns up to your ears, too. I
Well,
remember
Audrey,
them.
is there anything, what do you remember about school and church activities? I mean, what was it like?
It was nice.
I mean, was, okay.
Went to Sunday school and had to stay for preaching. If I didn't, I couldn't go nowhere that
How long did it take I mean, was it just like the day? It's just, a couple hours and that's it? Or?
To church.
Yeah, in school.
Well, Sunday school took in at 9:45
Yeah.
and lasted until 11, and from 11 to 12 was preaching.
Okay, well, what about school? What was the hours for that?
Schools took in at 9 o'clock. We got out at 12 for lunch, went back at 1, and got out at 3.
When you got out for 12, you went home to eat,
Yeah.
and then you went back to work.
I just lived 2 blocks from school.
Oh, okay. Well, that must have been. So, did you live in a city, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already called Hillsborough City.
Town.
Yeah, town, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. In your teen years, I mean, was there any? What'd you do then during your teen years? I mean, and
Well, we'd have a party once in a while around
Really?
there, and go to a movie sometimes. And,
yeah. And this was in Hillsborough?
Uh-huh. And movies about the only place you had to go.
Is there anything? Can you tell me something that the teenagers of today would be surprised to know about the teenagers of your day? I mean, is there something changed, different?
Yeah, we didn't have cars to jump in and ride all the time.
Yeah. So I mean, how'd you get around then?
We walked.
Oh, so it was just like okay.
People walked from up that Democ's Mill
Yeah.
everywhere.
Over on Eno Mountain,
Okay.
up at Okanicha Farm,
Alright.
up at Democ's Mill.
Didn't you tell him all that?
Did you remember your first date?
He don't care about telling
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, I remember my first date.
Do you know how old you
You
were?
walked home from church with me one Sunday night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the one you were talking about, Granny?
And then
Somebody walked home for church with was that one?
No, she wasn't with
Oh.
me in part of that
Oh,
night.
okay.
When I was saying, look at sister, look
Yeah.
at sister.
Okay.
She ought to kill me, but
Where
she
did you go
didn't.
on dates?
But I
then?
didn't tell on her either.
what?
Well, I mean, where did you go on a date? Was like church, where y'all went on the date
I
at?
have carried them to church
But I mean, any other place? Like,
and to the go to the movies.
and that was like the date was going to the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Did you have any when you were in school? Did you have a prom or anything? Any kind of dance thing?
Yeah, well, once in a while we'd have a dance.
Yeah.
Up in what's called tin can.
What was that?
That was the building that built, played basketball and everything in, and we called it tin can because when they was building it, they took up donations in tin cans,
Oh, okay.
and they nicknamed the building the Tin Can.
All right. Did you graduate?
No,
Okay. Let's see. What?
like about 6 months.
Yeah. So it was like 11 grades then too, right?
We just went to live.
All right. Let's see. Okay. What was there some things that were particularly hard for you at the time that you were a teenager? I mean, there's things that was hard on you. I mean, that might be different than it is now. In other words, like teenagers now won't experience some of the hardships that you had because of something.
I know, I didn't have nothing hard on. Not that I know of.
Nothing, anything like it was just
No.
hard. I mean, okay. All right. Do you remember anything about the styles people, the clothes people wore?
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, is it anything you can
they
explain?
wasn't the short shorts.
When you went to school, what kind of stuff did you wear? I mean, clothes you wear?
Well, natural clothes, just about like I'm wearing.
Could you
Not
wear
like
shorts?
this, but like the kids wearing now. No, we didn't wear jeans and things. We wore dresses.
Oh yeah, women were required, and then like the boys were required to like wear long pants or something.
Yeah, the boys wore long pants.
A knickerbocker.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Back then they wore a pair of blue jeans.
Do you remember anything about hairstyles? What?
They about like they are now.
So
Yeah.
anything really popular back in that time that everybody had to get, and any kind of style that. Oh,
no,
everybody.
anybody wore the hair anyway, like they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except the boys didn't wear their hair long then. They're wearing it long now.
Yeah. So back then everybody was pretty straight cut. That's
Yeah.
okay. All right. Did you play any games? Any kind of games that were popular
I
with
played
you?
basketball until I broke my nose.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
How old were you when that happened?
15.
Oh, okay. Oh, what year were you born in, by the way?
What year?
Uh-huh. What were you born in?
I was born in Hillsborough.
But what year? What year was it?
1912.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, alright, it's obvious. Were you punished as a child and you ever get in trouble?
Never get in trouble.
Yeah, be honest.
No, not that I know of.
Oh, come on now. You had to get, so you
No,
went all the way through
I
childhood.
got in trouble at most of it at home and to get a spanking or
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
At home you get in trouble and
Oh
stuff?
yeah. Get the limb off the tree on me once in a while.
Oh, okay. I mean, can you tell me, like, what it was? What you did to get in trouble? Or rather not say.
I don't know. I'll tell you one thing it was one time. I remember that. My mother told me to do something. I told her I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah. And so, what?
Spoke before I thought.
Alright. Let's see. Who did the punishing? Your mother or father?
My mother.
What about your father? Your
Yeah,
father?
he
Never
touched
touched?
none of us.
Really? Okay, who were you closest with in the family? You have a sister, or were you close with your mother, father, or?
No.
And
I was felt the same about all of them, honey. I didn't
Kinda
have no difference in between them.
I mean, it wasn't any, like, maybe two of you, maybe because of age, that y'all both
Yeah.
might have hung out? Is there?
college.
With that,
Did you have any, like, maybe that were more your age and it would act you?
well, that my sister that lived at Swept, she was 3 years older than I was.
Mhm.
Hey Richard, what about World War II? Ask what affected him.
Oh, well, okay. How did World War II affect you? I mean, what was it like? I mean,
I
well,
went
this is
in
for
it,
both of y'all. Go ahead. I mean, I know you weren't in, but did you have a husband? I mean, did you have a husband in it or anything?
You talking
Yeah.
about World War I or II?
Both.
Doesn't matter.
both of
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, two. I had a husband in it.
Yeah. What about you, Granny?
I had a lot of boyfriends in World War I.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you double time.
Even some I never did lay my eyes on.
Oh, sorry.
Boys would give them my address, you know, they're overseas in France. And boys that knew me from home would give them my address so they could correspond with me. And
Alright.
they did. And I've never seen someone till today.
Were you faithful when they went off to World War II?
I answered their letters.
I mean, but you didn't go out
I
with any.
roomed from my mother and dad and my Uncle Chester.
But when you went out, when you were during the war, did you not go out with any? Did you have a steady boyfriend that you did? And while he was gone in the war, did you like go with any other guys?
I did when it had to go to war.
Oh, okay. So
But
what about in the? Did anybody?
I went with some that had to go, but we wasn't what you call sweethearts. We were just more or less friends.
What about you, Audrey? And you have any like boyfriends or anything that went off to World
No.
War I or II?
No, hon. My husband was on the one.
And he. So how long was he in? Like, which?
Walter was in there about 4 years.
And so for that time, you just didn't get to see him. All right.
In World War II, they would have took your papa, but we had so many children, the government didn't want to send that many checks every month.
So it was the government.
They let him go and he went to the Navy Yard.
Okay. Okay. All right. Audrey, did you have any family pets?
Family pets.
Yeah. Anything you were really fond of? You know.
I had a little dog and had to put her to sleep.
And this was when you were young.
No, since I've been living up here. Oh yeah, we had dogs and cats both when I was young, growing up.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. Okay, you told me, but all right. What do you remember most about your mother and father? I mean, is there anything special that you could remember about?
Yes,
I mean, is there any characteristics that would really?
they're very loving and they love to sing together.
Yeah. See, I mean, Granny was
Very
kind
jolly. And never seen them mad at each other in my life.
of not
I
like
see
it is.
my mama get aggravated at daddy sometime and tell us that she was God made little apples. She was gonna leave him one of these days, and he said, "Well, didn't they make big ones too?"
Well, so contrast to where it is today, the families were more close knit together. I mean, they didn't argue as much. I
Yeah.
guess you say.
Yeah, they were, I think. It was some difference, I don't know. A whole lot of difference.
Yeah. All right.
With everybody. Not only families, but everybody.
All right. Do you?
Were in the home, for one thing. That's
As the world goes on, everything changes, you know.
All
And I
right.
guess it always will. It always has.
All right, Audrey.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything like weddings that you remember?
Weddings.
Yeah, or funerals or anything that really
Uh,
really got you emotionally or anything? Yeah.
No,
You
not
didn't.
any weddings or anything like that ever
Well-
got me emotional.
well, did it,
Mostly a death
how many-
on the thing that affects me.
All right. So I mean, when did you first get married? I mean, how old were you?
How old was I when I first got married?
Mhm.
17.
17. And all right. And it was that. How many times have you been married? Just once, twice, three. All right. Hey, that's no problem. All right. Let's see. All right. Have you ever driven a car?
Yeah.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first? Can you remember what your first car was?
Ford.
You know what year?
Model T.
About 36, I think.
So it was like a Model T or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you remember anything special about it, or different from maybe the cars or the?
Well, I had a running board.
Anything different from the cars of today? I mean, do you think they were safer or built
Yeah,
better?
well, they didn't go as fast as they go today.
Yeah. But do you think is that for the better or the worse?
I think sometimes it's better.
Yeah, because it's like guess you didn't get hurt.
It's especially since so many cars on the road now.
Yeah. So a lot back then, there was probably a lot of horses still out too, right?
If they'd went in faster, all that dust flying back on your boy.
All right. Let's see. Do you remember how much your first car cost? I mean, how much it might have cost?
You know, the first car I ever drove was my boyfriend's, and I don't know how much he paid for it.
Did you get another car or a second car that you know how much?
And I never had a car.
And you never really. Yeah.
Until I married, my husband has cars.
Yeah. And you don't really know how much any of them cost. Yeah.
Model T's about $300.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see. Can you do? All right, you did that. All right. In your adulthood, What was your life like in the 20s? I mean, is there anything? I guess you were married then, right?
Growing 20s, yeah, I was married in the 20s.
All right, and I mean, in your 20s, like at your age, 20s. I mean, is that when you started having? Did you have any when you had kids?
No, never had one that died.
Oh, okay. If you were to describe yourself, what kind of person are you? I mean, what?
Describe myself, what kind of person
Yeah, well,
I am?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, honey. I'm just average, I reckon.
Average.
You didn't ask me that one.
All right. What
How
kind of?
many age are you scared to? You
Oh,
know
I
what
just-
kind
I
of
just-
person I was?
I just. There's so many questions here. It's probably 20 or
I'll
so.
tell you kind of was, and anybody else that knows me can tell you.
What kind of person are
I was determined, kind of like Edna in a way.
you? Yeah.
She gets a lot of, like, you know, if I didn't want life to play with you, I might tell you so, right to your face. I don't want to play with you anymore, I'm tired. Quit.
Yeah. So you.
I just always spoke
So
for
you
myself,
kinda- yeah.
mostly.
All right.
Oh,
Back.
pretty thing. Hey, baby.
If I liked you, I liked you. If I didn't, it
Hey,
how much to
baby,
do
what
with
you doing?
All right. Well, here's another question for you. I forgot on you, Granny. How long did you live? How long have you lived in this home?
you. And this one,
Mm-hmm.
the first 4 rooms he built it in, 50 something, wasn't it? Yeah.
54, 55, 53.
We was living down there when he built it.
1953.
And, it's been a long time. Well, this new part's been built on here for 20-some years.
Yeah. Well, how
That
about
roof's been about 20-some years.
before that? What was the house you lived in before that?
Oh, in the barn house down in the country.
And how long did you live there?
Well, let's see. Hey, Betty, do you remember how long we lived down in the country in that old
About
house?
3 years.
Only about 3.
Yeah. Well,
And-
I enjoyed
and how
living
old were
out
you-
picking them birds and things.
How old were you back then when you lived in the barn house?
I was in my 40s,
Okay. And before that,
high 40s.
before that, where'd you live?
Smoky Hollow, run a cafe down the road here, right down there next door to Millie Payne. The building ain't there anymore.
And okay. And how
And he
how
built,
long did you live there?
and he built that cafe while we was running that one.
All right. How long did you live there? At the
We stayed down at that cafe a long time, didn't
6, 7 years.
we? Yeah.
6, 7 years.
Mm-hmm. And then he built this one while we was running that one.
and do you know how old you were?
Sheriff Stockett asked him one day while he was building it, Ray, you gonna sell a beer when you get it opened up? Marvin said, yeah, liquor too. Made him mad because that's me, we didn't sell no beer down there.
All right. And how long did you live there in Smoky Hollow?
6 or 7 years,
6,
wasn't
7 years.
And before
it?
that?
Don had never started school when we come here.
Yeah.
Was
He
in
wasn't old
Virginia.
enough.
Go- and Port-
So where he did.
All right. And before that, where'd you live?
Portsmouth, Virginia.
And how long? And is that how long did you live there?
And we lived there about,
You had a war? On the war.
yeah, during the war. We went down, the war done started.
This
And we didn't leave till it done over with.
So how old were you when you lived in Portsmouth? And what was your age?
Well, I was about 42 when we went to Portsmouth.
Okay. And how about
Marvin was 41 when they started to, when they got in the war, he was 41.
all right? What about before that? Where'd you live?
I was 40 because he's old.
Shelby.
You lived. Where'd you live before that? Before you lived in Portsmouth?
Shelby.
Portsmouth.
Shelby.
Before you lived there.
Shelby.
And how long did you live there? Well, you lived a lot of places.
Oh, yeah. That ain't all of them I lived at. Oh,
Well, answer the
honey,
question.
I don't remember how long I lived in Shelby.
All right. You know.
About 4 or 5 years.
You know about how old you were?
5 years, Richard.
All right. How you know how old you
Well,
were when you were?
I was in my 30s when we went there.
Yeah.
Don was a baby.
All right. And before that, where'd you live before you lived in Shelby?
Red Spring. No.
Greenville, South Carolina.
All right. And how long did you live there?
No.
Man, y'all
2 years,
moving.
I think, or 3 or something like that.
Okay.
Moved from Red Springs, North Carolina, to Greenville, South Carolina.
So where'd you live before you lived in Red Spring?
Graham.
Him.
Him.
Robbins.
How old were you then? What?
It's
Well,
lived
I
up
was in
Virginia one time,
I was in my 30s
up in the mountains in
when
Virginia
we lived
one
in
time.
him. We moved from let's see now, where did we live before we went up in the mountains? Macon? We lived in Macon one time.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so well, you really, and is this it? Are we,
No.
where you live before
I
that?
lived up between Lynchburg and Roanoke.
And then before that?
Lived in Graham,
Greensboro.
Graham, Burlington,
Gibsonville.
So we're,
Gibsonville,
so we're,
Greensboro.
so we're talking over 20 prior places here.
Honey,
Danville.
but I forget some of them.
Well, I mean, you're just making jumps at the point. I mean, you
Yeah,
couldn't have lived there more than a couple of years and just moved to another
Yeah, we
place.
just jumped around. Marvin was, he loved to go.
Yeah.
And
so-
I didn't mind going
well,
with him.
whatever happened? Did you finally settle down here in
Yeah,
this
we settled
Lower
down.
Graham
Honey
area?
was getting
Got
old
old.
enough then.
You looking at Richard?
Yeah, we was getting old enough to
We were
settle.
rocking chairs.
Well, how about the same stuff for you, Audrey? I mean,
What?
did you pretty much move around where Granny went, or?
Yeah, I moved from out here to the trailer, from the trailer out here.
No, he talking about.
I mean, like before you lived here in this spot here, what
Oh,
town did you
no,
live in?
Not too much.
Before
I
you lived.
left Hillsborough, went to Goldsboro, from Goldsboro to Shelby,
Yeah.
and Shelby back to here.
And when did you first move here? What was the date on that? Boundary.
Date I came here in '74.
Okay, and then before that, you lived in what? Goldsboro? What?
No, Shelby.
Shelby. And how long did you live there?
About 22 years.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was gonna get to live in Charlottesville. Marvin wanted me to come there one weekend. He was boss man up there in the silk mill. And I went up there, and he
That's alright.
he was talking about we was gonna move up there, and I wanted to. It's a beautiful place. You've been there. One day I went home from work, and the mailbox, on the side of the door up in Shelby. I got a letter out. I knew his handwriting on the outside, and I thought, well, what's he doing down there in Norfolk? I broke it open. Well, honey, I really think you got a H of a man. But I can make more money down here.
Waiting for the makeup lady to get over here.
Alright, what did you enjoy about your adulthood? Is there anything that was real enjoyable, any experiences that, was really, good experiences?
I loved to go to school when I was going to school.
What about when you actually got to be an adult?
Well,
Actually started. Did you work?
After I started, I worked that summer, and Mom and Daddy said, well, if I went to work that summer, I want to go back to school. I told them, yeah, I would. And I didn't break my promise to them. I went to school 6 more months and quit.
Yeah.
I'd rather work than going to school.
So I mean, at the time, working was more important than really going to
Yeah.
school, because then you went out and made
I
money.
didn't have nowhere else to go. Might as well have been at work.
Yeah. So what's might as well, yeah. Okay, I got you. All right.
Didn't have far to go to work.
All right. Let's see. All right. Can you tell me what? Have you lived in North Carolina? Yeah, you lived in North Carolina for the last 20 years,
Yes, I was born here.
right? Okay. Can you tell me how it changed? The state or anything? Anything changed about
Well,
it?
there's a lot of new highways, new buildings,
Yeah.
and the schools have changed.
Yeah. I mean, what do you
You're
think?
allowed to do more in school now than you used to when I was going to school.
Can you give me some specifics, like things that have changed different from the high school of now than it was like when you were in school?
Yeah,
Anything? You
a
can,
whole lot.
anything you can name, like discipline, heat?
Well, now, yeah, because back then they'd spank your butt if you didn't act right.
Yeah.
You
Now.
can't do it now.
Yeah.
And they can stand up and cuss the teachers out nowadays and carry their knives and pistols to school. Back
we wouldn't do
then,
that.
They didn't care nothing about knives.
No,
and
Don
pistols.
didn't take knives. He didn't
Yeah,
need
she
one.
talking about
They had-
now.
had,
Well, and yeah, this is a.
had
Well, that's good.
pencil sharpeners.
They do it today, but they not.
I know, hon. I said you didn't have to, though. We didn't want you to because they were dangerous. You
Well,
could
you
fall
laughed
on them,
about
or
it.
you could cut
Mine-
somebody not mean to.
See-
Mama, hold on a minute, honey. Come on, Miss Missy.
What's the next one?
All right. What do you advise to today's teenagers? Well, you got any advice for us?
What part is,
No,
Advice
teenagers.
for teenagers.
what did I buy?
Advice for
Advice for the teenagers. Anything
Oh,
you would want to
advice.
tell us?
Advice.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say keep going to school. Well, keep going to school and get a good education.
Like college and stuff.
Get rich.
I think that's pretty good advice about anybody.
Yeah,
Get rich.
and
All right, in a whole, what kind of life have you had? Like I said, just average, I guess, right?
yeah, average.
Okay. Is there a proudest moment in your life when you were like proud, of something you accomplished or something you did or something the family did? Is there something that there's a moment that stands out when you were, you were really proud?
Well, I had so many of those. A lot of those.
Every time I went out on the street, I was proud.
Yeah. All right. Okay, is there anything that was like, is there a hardest moment, anything that was hard, real hard? I mean, you can remember that, like, this was the hardest time for you to get through? I mean, was the depression hard on you? I mean,
Well, it was rough on me when my brother got killed and Mom and Daddy
Yeah.
passed away, and then my sister and then my husband and
so you had a lot of
my
deaths.
two brother-in-laws, and yeah,
So that,
all at one time.
it was right close together?
Mhm.
All right, if you could live your life over, is there anything different you do? I mean, is there something different you do about your life? Is something like, you could make it a better, or something you could have done and, improve things? Or
Yeah, studied to be a preacher and make money.
A preacher? Be like a healer or something?
Yeah,
Alright.
that's where the money is now.
What, being a preacher?
Yeah.
I can think of a lot better places than that.
Yeah, that's it.
Ooh.
Congressman is interviewed.
Alright, what do you think, the United States will be like within, in the next 20 years? I mean, what's going to happen? Is
It's
it
worse than Russia.
really?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Well, now, now that communism is basically gone in Russia.
They got rid of them, but they've come over here now.
Yeah. So you saying our country?
Now, Russia's putting out opium over there and they send it to the United States.
Nah,
Raising their own opium.
I didn't know that.
No, Russia ain't doing
But anyway,
it.
Alright.
Russia's extremely hard.
okay. What do you? Alright. So in 20 years, is there gonna be any problems on this planet? I mean, are we gonna be here in 20 years?
Oh, yeah. There'll be some problems in 20 years.
I mean, anything you
I
think?
ain't gonna be here
anything?
20 years.
I won't be here though, but there'll be some.
How you know?
There'll be some.
Yeah. How you know?
There's gonna be some within, I'll say there'll be some
Well, I
within
just
the
know
next
I ain't
5,
gonna be
6
here
years.
20 more years. I'm old
You
enough.
think you'll be here this
I'm
long?
just-
You never know. By then,
I'm just
people may
barely
live
here
forever.
now.
Oh, my.
She's gonna be here when she's 100
She's tougher than
25
lava
years
now.
old.
You never know. By then, people might live forever.
What did you say? You gonna be around here long as dirt is.
Alright, final question. Alright, what do you think the biggest problem, Audrey, what do you think the biggest problem with this country is, like, right now, from, like, 1930 to 1993? What's the biggest problem? There's problems, obviously, with the country, and things are always going wrong. I mean, you always hear little things in the news. But is there one big thing that's causing all this?
Yes, sending all that money across the seas over there.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like
All the jobs.
sending the jobs away?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
that's
true.
it.
And if we could stop doing that, we'd be on the right track
Yeah.
and be back to we'd get things going.
Look at the countries that
But
own
you
this
know what about
country,
them,
country
Japan
money
buying
again.
so much
They'll
over
never
there.
get it.
Yeah.
They're starting up stuff.
I mean, what do you think about the debt and stuff? I mean, we'll be able to get rid of this, and if we were, somehow be able to get that back and get trade back into America?
I don't know, honey. I don't believe that they'll ever be right again. I don't think the world will ever be right again.
Well, you think we'll ever have world peace?
I
Either
don't
one
know.
of you?
I don't believe there'll ever be any more
Not
world
perfect.
peace.
Won't ever be.
Perfect peace.
We'll always be
Peace,
fighting with
only
ourselves.
peace will be between ourselves.
Alright. Well, that's about it. And Mike, thank y'all for taking the time.
Well, now what you got to do with that?
Now,
Now we gotta go home and write a report on this.
I will
And I'm
not,
just too close to my daddy when I
Yeah.
said it.
because I love them. You don't do things.
Oh, yeah, I love my daddy.
No.
Well, how old did you have to get before you was an adult? I mean, before it was like, I mean, you just basically moved out, or was that
No. When you,
whenever you got married? What?
no.
When I got married,
Respect is
and I never lost my respect for my mother
respect
and
for
my father.
people.
no.
Yeah.
Richard, I have respect for people who have respect for me. And still I have respect for them. If they don't, I try to tell them, I said, look, if you ain't got respect for yourself, have it for somebody else.
Then that's what
Yeah.
Daddy always said. If you can't have any respect for yourself,
Yeah.
you can't have it for anybody else. What do you think when you look at a mirror?
It
Okay?
don't
I
always
was
be-
32 years old before I put on a piece of makeup, and you know why? My daddy did not want me to put makeup on. And I respected him enough that I would not do it.
My
Even after
mother
you got
didn't want me
married?
to put none on.
Very seldom did I ever wear makeup.
Yeah.
Very seldom. Never. And I never smoked in front of my
Daddy was a
I
good man.
respected him.
He wasn't a mean man. He was a
No,
good
no,
man. He was
he
firm.
was a
But
good
he
man.
was
And I was a
back
grown
in-
man, and he'd always talk to me.
He was a gentleman.
Yeah.
How many, I had never in my life
Yeah.
heard children talk when I was coming up like they talk
Uh-uh.
now. Never.
What happened? What changed? What made it?
I don't
What's
know.
changed? That
The
happened because I.
parents
The
changed.
parents changed, huh?
And they have. I mean, come on. The parents or the children are the people that.
When you take a
Parents
school
changed, which changed.
and you get different people, anytime anything's bad, and I'm gonna tell you, it's hard. I don't think how kids do what they do today.
Yeah.
If you get a bunch of, now I've been around good people, and I've been around some mean people. I'm around them a lot of times now.
Yeah.
But I'm old enough not to decide to go with these people and do bad. But it's easy to do. It's
Yeah.
things I could do, not like making money.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do it. I don't want to go out and steal something from somebody. I don't want to take something that belongs to somebody else. It don't belong to me.
Is that what the problem you think is now? There's a lot of
That's
people
some
that
of
are
the
out there that
problem.
are trying like to take. They're willing to just steal from people to get ahead.
They think because this man is rich, he owes them something.
Yeah.
He don't. Like in mills. You go to work for the mill. And I've been
For
involved.
me, I've always had
several
a lot of
million dollars.
respect for the wealthy.
But to come out of work for, I don't go tear up something.
Provided a lot of jobs.
It's okay, man.
Yeah.
You know, a wealthy
Yeah,
man
sorry.
provides a lot
Your
of jobs.
mother, Richard.
for people like me. You know, really.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they had the smarts to get up and make it. Why should I resent it? They give me a job. They give thousands of people a job. So I've always admired people like that. They're what made this country.
Yeah.
They really have.
And before I go to my job, where I work at, I can go up and destroy a lot of stuff and tear up. And say I done it accidentally. But I'm not doing, look, what I'm doing, I'm hurting myself.
That's right.
Because this man, well, eventually can go out of business, I can break him. But why don't I want to kill the goose that lays the golden egg?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
You know,
honesty
I
is the
admire
best
'em.
policy.
So, if
Well,
I don't like where I'm
that
working, I'll quit.
Rich man. Rich man gives me a job. Sam Walden made it
Mhm.
possible for me to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
He
True.
give a lot of people
So
work.
why should I resent him?
If you don't like where you're working,
No.
then quit.
Well,
That's right.
Go somewhere else and find you another job.
Any advice you got? I mean, for the people my age, what to do? Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
You go to
Johnny, like
You
I
get
said
that
about
college
Adam and Eve, they
education.
raised what's clean about that.
always have
You
respect
know,
for yourself
hey,
and
Betty.
others.
Nobody don't have to go in that place if they don't want
And
to.
you'll make it fine. You really will.
That's just for people who wants to go in
But
there.
Richard,
You
you're,
don't
look,
have
you're
to.
looking at your Uncle Donnie, and I can't hardly read and write.
Yeah.
But I got a good job.
You sure
Make a good
have.
living.
I respect people.
Yeah.
I'm in the Coast Guard Auxiliary.
And most of them respect you.
I'm in the volunteer fire
Richard.
department, volunteer and rescue,
He's
I'm a
like
Mason.
four.
and I think I've done
Okay,
good in
You
my life.
have done good.
I don't. The government don't owe me nothing, but I have to pay the government.
Yeah,
I've never asked the government for nothing.
that's me,
Yeah.
son.
I've give more than I've ever took in my life, and
I
I'll
have
give
to-
again.
I have to pay
I
the
don't take
government
nothing from
every
you.
year,
I'll
but
ask you for it,
they ain't never get,
you know. But
if I
don't think
pay
it.
for this year, they'll come take it away
Don't
from me.
think it.
Belongs to
Another
me.
man owes you something because he's got more than you got.
Yeah.
I appreciate people got a lot. I got friends, I got a friend that owns a hosier mill.
They help you a lot,
Yeah.
don't you,
I
Don?
go ask that man for something to eat.
Yeah.
If I ain't got anything to eat in my home, I go up there and say, look, I ain't gonna call his name, but I said, I need something to eat. Some my kids or my wife, I said, we ain't got anything to eat. So would you get me? Yeah. And I guarantee he would get me something to eat. I said, I don't want the money, I just want something to eat.
Well, I only want what I work for.
Yeah. But I
That's
mean,
what I
you know, if something happened that I couldn't,
Yeah.
you know, people
Yeah.
gets down. I've been
Got
hard
one there,
times.
I think wrong there where right now you got the takers, and there's a lot of them out there.
More takers
And then you
than
got the givers. Yeah, there's more takers than there are givers. There's been welfare
So that's what-
families.
Is that what's wrong with the
welfare.
country? Too
That's
many
one of-
takers?
You got it, that's one of the things. You cannot continue year after year after year after year taking and never give anything in return.
That's
Never.
right.
We got too many
You just
people.
can't do that.
Is that like what Congress is or something? Is that why, you know? I mean,
No,
too-
our Congress is really not as bad as people think they are.
Well, I don't know now, I
Really?
disagree with you there, brother. I think
Well,
they're
some of our
pretty bad.
Congress is good. We got good
No,
Congress.
they make
Ah,
laws that don't
they got
cover them. Anytime a congressman makes a law that he can get out from under, then that's bad. I think our representatives in the country have destroyed this country to a degree, to a big degree. Because we elected them, put our faith in them. They don't do their job that we put them up there for. I don't think, and that's just a personal thing with me. I do not think they do this. They spend their money,
They can make it, but who passes
passes what?
the laws they make?
The Congress passes these
You
laws.
got
honey.
Senate?
And that's,
Yeah, so
House?
in Congress,
They-
well, the House is.
They
not
raise
the
our
power.
wages.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna go around the room. I wanna ask a question. Are you or do you mind saying, are you Republican or Democrat? But no, or independent, I guess.
I'm a sort of independent. I'm for the man that I think can help our country.
Yeah. What about you, Ben?
I don't care who you
I'm a
are.
registered Democrat and vote for who I think's the best man.
Really Democrat? Because I'm surprised because, you know, I know Evelyn's like Republican, right?
She used to be Democrat, honey, all her life.
Well, what happened?
She married
I'm
Bill.
not no Republican.
Alright, what about you?
I'm
Well,
not
my
no
dad was
Republican.
Democrat. I'm
You're
born in-
Democrat?
Yeah.
Audrey?
Born in Democrat home. But.
Alright, what about you, Granny?
But the one that I think that would make a
Now,
difference.
listen,
I
I
don't
didn't
care
vote
who
for
he
Clinton.
is.
You didn't,
No,
though?
I did not vote for Clinton.
Who'd you vote for? I mean, if you don't mind.
Bush.
You voted for Bush.
I figured I'd
I
take the
voted for
wizard
Bush.
for 2 weeks.
You did? What about, oh, I guess y'all didn't.
I
If
didn't
you would have voted.
I didn't vote.
If
I
you would have voted.
voted
Who'd you vote for?
Clinton.
You did?
I didn't vote
Yeah.
for anybody.
If you would have voted, though, who would you have voted for? I mean, do you, or did you not even really
I think I would vote for Clinton, but I wouldn't vote for nobody.
Well, Mama, you
I wouldn't know
well,
who
it's
it.
your right to do it.
Yeah, I know. Everybody, you know,
I
got.
mean,
They have the right to vote for whoever they want.
And they talk about Clinton hadn't done nothing. Bless his heart, he hadn't been in there long. Look what he inherited when he got in there.
What do you think about? I mean, what do you think about Clinton so
That
far?
Huh?
What do y'all think about Clinton
All
so
of his
far?
debts. and-
Liar.
I think we could
He's
go. I
gone
think
back
we
on
could
everything he
go.
ever said he's gonna do.
Go.
Oh, come on now. He hadn't been in office that long.
Heck no.
You
I
don't
know.
have to be in office as long as you're gonna do what he said you're gonna
Yeah, but
do.
if suppose, like, for instance, you know, Congress is, they got a part Republican, and if they put up a filibuster, in other words, they can't pass the laws because part of the Congress disagrees with whatever Clinton says.
Right.
In other words, it keeps him from, it keeps Clinton from doing what he wants to do.
Passing his bills.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they had this all wrapped up this time.
Well, that's kind of what that's from what I understand. That's what Clinton.
Look
But
at
I
all
mean, that-
these lobbyists they got up.
But you realize sometimes when they're trying to pass those bills, Richard, that they've got bills tacked to that thing that you would not believe. They
Yeah.
don't tell you that.
That's why some of them want line item veto.
You
Hey.
got it. I mean, they'll pass things,
Cameraman.
honey,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
You should be out of this.
unbelievable. And they, you know, they have this is why they have a staff. They
Yeah, man,
cannot
they're being-
possibly go through all this mess.
But I tell you
And
something
they'll
we're not
pass a
looking at.
bill,
What?
we pay for it.
I tell you something we're not looking at. It really hurts us a lot too. And it's right on our doorstep. It's right down here in Raleigh.
What?
Raleigh, Pete, yeah.
They pass the laws on our highways, our schools. I mean, North Carolina laws. They got laws that I didn't even know was on the book. Because you take a person that don't read the paper and don't watch the news, you know, which I don't have time to do.
Yeah.
And if I had the paper, I can't hardly read it. And they'll pass the law, and then when they pass it, if I ain't got a judge, I mean a lawyer to tell me what that law was, I don't know. I could break that law and they ain't know how to break it.
Yeah.
And I'm innocent.
Well, they've always said you start with your tax hometown folks work their way right
Yeah.
on up to the state and then work their way right on up to Washington DC, because it starts locally and
Right.
travels on up.
Yeah.
Don't let him
Always.
chew on that cord.
I don't think he's just over here. He's not really chewing the cord.
Oh.
He's just playing. I mean, so, you know, what do you?
But I tell you one thing, I love the United States of America.
I
And
would,
Wouldn't
I'll
live any
fight
other
for
place.
it.
Or would you?
And
I,
I love
well,
my,
I
no.
might would live some other place.
Would I live
Where do you
some-
want to live?
I
I might
had
vacation,
a
but not live long.
choice.
No, I love it.
What?
Where I wanted to live, I would go to Ireland,
Ireland?
and I'd live in Ireland.
Is there any reason? I mean, what?
I just would like to go to Ireland. And live
Just
in Ireland.
out of the, you know, you just.
Or
like-
Switzerland. Switzerland would be.
Did you have descendants from Ireland?
Mm.
Descendants from
Yeah,
Ireland?
that's.
But it's getting some bad, and all of, I'm good. I feel like I'm safe from my house, and that's about safe because I can handle my house 'cause I got my dog.
Yeah, well, I guess that's one thing about America. You know, well, I mean, you can't. America's pretty safe.
Well, to a degree it is. And let me tell you what.
We ain't gonna. I don't think we have to worry about getting invaded.
No, as far as that, I don't think so. But the FBI can come knock your door down, destroy your home. The CIA can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Kill.
Yeah. They,
Yeah.
It's been done.
I know. It's.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you know, when you're talking about
We
say,
bring
you
up
know, like
Waco.
Adolf Hitler had the Nazis. We got the FBI.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I know.
And the CIA. So, you know,
we,
this is we've always been propagandized, I call it. You know,
Yeah.
they tell us this stuff, they feed it to us, and people believe it.
Yeah. So.
Because they don't really read, they don't really listen. They just go on like they, you know. I don't think just children are on drugs. A lot of the adults are on it.
Yeah.
And their minds are just absolutely petrified. They don't believe anything because it's propaganda. You see, our government feeds us this stuff. Believe it. I mean, you know.
But what can we do about it? I mean, as citizens. I mean, is
As
it,
citizens,
we just vote for the better man, and we've tried. I mean, it doesn't
we've
seem.
tried all that and it hasn't worked yet.
Yeah.
You know, just like with Clinton.
Time for change.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, there is no solution to this. None.
Yeah.
None.
Hey.
As long as we've got a Congress or Senate or anything, as long as we've got a government.
Well, what do we do? I mean,
I
we
think
gotta
that's-
have a government, I guess.
I think each state should have its own.
Kind of like independent.
Mhm.
Even then, you'd have state governments, you know.
That may be true, but having to where they fix the laws, they couldn't hide under them.
Yeah.
And if they're really full of people, you know, the Constitution of the United States, a lot of people don't know what the preamble of the Constitution of the United States is.
Is that a train?
They really do not.
Yeah.
It says, we the people. And we are not a democracy, we are a republic.
Yeah.
The republic for which it stands. Now, how many people can argue with you on that one? They don't know that it's not a democracy. We're not. We are a republic. And there's a great difference.
Yeah. All right. Well, we love to chat with y'all tonight, but
Oh, I know, and I gotta get home.
There's
crying
one
down
thing you need to
place.
do
what?
each night.
What?
If you don't have to do anything else.
Pray.
When you go to bed, pray.
Mhm.
All right.
And pray for other people.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Gonna.
Yeah, well,
That goes for everybody.
yeah.
Don't forget
I'm
about
a great
God, 'cause
believer in
He's there.
prayer.
All right.
He, look, it's gonna be rough.
Well, you know, in the
Yeah.
Bible,
He
a lot
tells
of
us
people
the
don't
road's
believe
gonna
it.
be rough. But don't ever give up on Him.
Well, it's a lot of times like some people don't believe in the Bible. Like I said, I'm not thinking this person's right. That, you know, it's like with smoking. You know, don't blow your smoke in my face. And I said, fine, I won't blow my smoke in your face if you don't cough in mine. Give me pneumonia or something. You don't wear that smelly perfume. You know, we can go down the line with all this stuff. Get rid of that stinky perfume. You're ugly. Why don't you stay home? Seriously. You know,
These people does
this
talk
is
about-
I
what
want
you're
to
getting-
stay home, dude.
You're ugly. Stay home. You make me sick. You offend me.
I hear a
Go
lot of
home,
young
don't come
people
back out
really,
no
they
more.
talk about somebody that's fat,
Yeah.
when a
That's
girl
trouble
been fat. And
to do
look,
that.
I used to, when I went to school, I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. There's a girl I went to school with, she got killed in an automobile accident about 3 years ago. She
You know,
wasn't
I
fat.
look like a zebra.
And people would pick on her and I get in a fight. I really would fight for her.
Well, that was true. True can be the cruelest thing in the world, but I was always a
And I
student.
never thought off on nobody or made fun of nobody. Cause I wasn't no better than they were. I didn't have much more than they did.
I tell you one thing I can tell you, Richard, when people get back to caring for one another, that
That's
will
right.
solve our problem.
Yeah.
When it
Do
really,
you think that ever happened now?
Well, I hope so. I'm not
I
saying it
hope
won't.
so, and I pray for that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it ever will, because the Bible says they know not the way. What he
Richard,
meant
you
by that
still
is
having to
we-
send in assignments every day?
Yeah, he's gonna have to send an assignment.
Looks like they
Yep.
let you rest now.
Y'all want some of my sandwich?
No,
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 I gotta
drink.
go.
Alright, well, we
Homework.
gotta pack up, man.
I
It's
know,
already
I gotta pack
9:30.
up, I know it, and I
Get
got
there.
home.
Y'all ain't got to
Huh?
go.
See something for him.
Oh,
You ain't got to go to.
we gotta go sometime. Alright, this is my family, and
Yeah, oh, great.
I've already introduced
Uncle
everybody. That's
Don.
Donnie.
Yeah.
This is
Aunt
Aunt Betty. And this is Aunt Audrey. And that's Granny Ray, Georgia Ray.
Yeah.
Georgia Butt.
Alright,
Georgia,
this
Georgia
is
Butt.
my report, Mr. Packenham, and hope you enjoy it. Oh, and the cameraman,
Uncle Don. Make it.
Shane Bertha, who participated in backup.
Back up.
Okay, and there he is, so he did do part of this.
He done all the camera work.
Look the thing.
Alright, and I guess that'll wrap it up.
There's a cat.
Who kept clawing the cord.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
cat, Richard.
And there's the bird. It ain't saying much right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's it.
Pretty bird.